Never before in our history, Indonesia has been losing around 18 football fields of tropical forest every minute. The honorable judges, distinguished committee, my fellow friends, my name is Balqis from Andalas University, and today I want to talk about a crisis we have slowly learned to ignore. A crisis that, according to Forest Watch Indonesia, has already cost Indonesia nearly 777,000 hectares of natural forest between 2023 and 2024 alone. But honestly, the most frightening part is not the number itself. The frightening part is how normal it has become. We scroll through news about floods while eating lunch. We hear about forest fires, then continue our day as if nothing happened. We watch river overflows, forests burn, and cities feel harder to live in. And somehow, we still treat environmental destruction as background noise. Well, maybe because forests disappear quietly. We do not hear every tree falling. We do not watch ecosystems collapse in real time. So we convince ourselves that the crisis is still far away, but it is not far away anymore. Because this is no longer only about nature. This is about survival. Ladies and gentlemen, people often think forests are simply groups of trees standing on empty land, but forests are far more than that. They cool the air we breathe. They absorb carbon before it poisons the atmosphere. They hold water beneath the soil and reduce the risk of disaster before it even begins. Forests protect ecosystems we may never see, yet still depend on to survive. And when forests disappear, balance disappears with them. Nature does not negotiate. Once that balance is broken, consequences arrive. That is why today disasters no longer shock us the way they should. Floods return more often. Even turning on fans and air conditioners is no longer about comfort today, but a necessity. And slowly we begin adapting to conditions that should never have become normal. But perhaps the cruelest irony is this: while humans destroy forests in the name of development, human life becomes more vulnerable because of it. We call it progress, but if progress destroys the very system that keeps us alive, then tell me, what is actually progressing? You see, the loss of trees is not only an environmental crisis, it is also a public health crisis. Without trees, air pollution worsens, respiratory diseases increase, urban areas trap more heat, placing vulnerable communities at even greater risk. Even mental health suffers because, admit it, no one feels truly okay living in places that keep getting hotter, noisier, and more crowded with barely any nature left around us. And the danger goes even deeper. When forests are destroyed, wildlife lose habitat. Animals move closer to human populations. The boundaries between ecosystems collapse, and suddenly the seas that once existed only in isolated environments begin finding their way into human life. So, no, deforestation is not a distant issue happening somewhere far away. It enters our lungs, it enters our cities, it enters our bodies, and still we continue cutting. Well, maybe that is our greatest contradiction. We destroy the things we depend on the most. We breathe what forests produce, and today we breathe what we destroy. So, what should we do? Planting trees matters, yes, but this issue cannot be solved through symbolic action once a year for social media campaigns. Real change begins when sustainability is treated not as a trend, but as responsibility. When people, family, become more conscious of what they consume, what they support, and what they choose to ignore. However, awareness alone is never enough. Forests need protection supported by real systems. Many forest areas are surrounded by economically vulnerable communities, where illegal logging and forest burning often become desperate choices for survival. So, if we truly want forests to survive, The people living closest to them must become part of the solution. This is why conservation funding and environmental donations also matter, not simply as charity, but as investment in protection. Financial support can help local villages preserve forest areas by rewarding communities based on how much land they successfully protect from illegal burning and destruction. Because in the end, this issue has never been only about trees. Protecting forests should never remain only a slogan repeated once a year. It must become a collective commitment supported by action, responsibility, and systems that allow both nature and our future to survive together. Every tree cut down removes more than wood. It removes protection. It removes balance. It removes part of our future. So the next time you call deforestation development, remember this. Forests are not obstacles to human progress. They are the reason human progress is still possible to this day. And when the last tree disappears, we will finally understand that cutting trees has always meant cutting life. Thank you for listening.